You're not afraid of people. You're afraid of what happens when you let them close enough to see you. So you've learned to be comfortable in your own company. And the strange part? It doesn't feel like loneliness. It feels like safety. Problem deep dive. There's a specific feeling when someone tries to get closer. Not panic exactly. More like a closing door. You make plans and then cancel them. You start conversations and then pull back. You have people who care, and yet you can't quite let them in. It's not shyness. It's not social anxiety. It's something quieter. More like your nervous system knows exactly when to create just enough distance to feel safe again. And the thing is, being alone has never felt bad. It feels like control, like nothing can hurt you if no one gets close enough to try. You tell yourself you prefer it this way, and part of you does, but another part wonders if you're just afraid of what intimacy requires. Reframe. You're not broken, and you're not antisocial. You're someone whose nervous system learned early that closeness came with risk. Maybe someone got too close and hurt you. Maybe someone you needed wasn't there when you needed them. Maybe you learned that depending on people is the quickest way to disappoint yourself. Your isolation isn't laziness. It's a protective strategy your brain developed when trust felt too dangerous. And the problem is, your brain doesn't know the difference anymore between actual danger and the vulnerability that real connection requires.
Psychological mechanism? Here's what's happening beneath the surface. Your nervous system has something called a threat detection system. It's constantly scanning your environment for danger. And when you were younger, closeness somehow registered as a threat. So your brain created a neural pathway, a well-worn groove that says, when someone gets close, activate safety protocol, distance yourself, control the interaction. Every time you chose solitude over vulnerability, you reinforced that pathway. It became automatic. Now when someone reaches toward you emotionally, your nervous system doesn't see connection. It sees exposure. It sees the possibility of being seen, and therefore rejected. And loneliness, paradoxically, feels like the safest option, because at least you know what to expect from it. Practical framework. First, recognize the protection, not the problem. Your isolation isn't a flaw. It's armor. And armor kept you alive when things weren't safe. But armor also keeps you from being touched. Start noticing when the urge to withdraw comes. Not to shame yourself, but to recognize that it's your nervous system trying to protect you. Second, understand that small vulnerability comes first. Real connection doesn't happen in one leap. It happens in small moments. A text sent without second guessing. A feeling shared that you normally hide. 5 minutes of honest conversation instead of surface talk. These are not risks. They're data points your nervous system can use to understand that being seen isn't the same as being destroyed. Third, choose one person to practice with, not everyone. One person whose safety you can test without losing everything. And practice showing them small pieces of the real you. Your nervous system will resist. It will try to pull you back into what feels familiar. But every time you stay present in a moment of closeness without running, you're rewiring the pathways. You're teaching your brain that connection is possible without annihilation. Integration. Think of it this way. Loneliness and connection are not opposites. Isolation and presence are not the opposite of each other. The opposite of isolation is incremental vulnerability. Small, manageable, repeated.
Your nervous system didn't learn to fear closeness in one day. It won't unlearn it in one day either. But every time you choose to stay present when you want to disappear, you're slowly, quietly rewiring what feels safe.
Quiet, empowering close. You've been safe in your solitude. That's not nothing. That protection kept you whole when the world felt too sharp. But safety and life are not the same thing. And the question worth asking yourself isn't why am I alone? It's what would it mean to slowly, carefully let someone in? The answer might surprise you. It might feel less like danger and more like finally, after all this time, being known. And here's the thing. You don't have to do this alone either. You don't have to have all the answers.
You don't have to suddenly become someone who craves constant connection. You just have to be willing to let the door open a little wider than it's been. That's enough. That's where it starts. If this video resonated with you, if something in it felt like your own story, you're not the only one who's learned to feel safer alone. But you're also not alone in wanting to change that. Thank you for watching. And if you found value in this, consider subscribing. There's more here about the psychology behind the patterns that keep us stuck. Take care of yourself.